Been a little under the weather this week. Oh, I think I'm suffering from trash bagger poisoning. Ooh. If I had one piece of advice for an aspiring wrestler, other than to be respectful of everyone and not to work in front of a paying crowd until you know you're ready, it's to make your gimmick your own. You know, make it original. I know it's difficult because nothing's original in wrestling anymore, but, you know, like, take some elements, at the very least, if there's a gimmick that you'd like to emulate, take some elements of it, put your own spin on it, make it your own. You know, that's the least I'm asking out of aspiring wrestlers. So it makes me ill when I go on Facebook and I see things like this. I saw this photo on the Facebook group Trash Bag Wrestlers. This page likes to poke fun at wrestlers who, you know, don't look like they're trying all that hard. Sometimes the guys on this page miss the mark and they post a picture of an actual good wrestler who's just in some compromising or unflattering picture, but for the most part, these guys are on point in pointing out and making fun of these these scourges, these viruses of wrestling. They focus on guys who don't have gear, you know, they're in bad shape, you know, or they're just blatantly trying to rip off some other famous wrestler. But in this guy's case, the guy managed to pull up all three of these things. That alone is bad enough, but what made it worse was that the Hardy lookalike actually went on the page and fought back against his detractors and tried to defend himself, which, as everyone knows on Facebook, you just can't win that kind of argument. He said he only takes advice when it's something he wants to hear, which, you know, that's totally smart, right? Yeah, he also said that people were just jealous that he could do a swanton, which, no, just look at the thing. No, oh, it hurts. And also that he wasn't trying to steal Jeff Hardy's gimmick, he was only using the same moves. Yes, he was only using the same moves. That's it, he was only using the same moves. Well, that, and he also dressed exactly like him. Then he also did the same hand gesture as Jeff Hardy in that picture. That, and he also writes about it as legibly as Jeff Hardy does too. But that's not the point. It's completely different other than those things. Come on, dude. How much harder is it to invest in yourself and get actual gear than it is to, you know, cobble together this Jeff Hardy costume, including that tacky-ass two-tone long-sleeve shirt that I'm pretty sure they stopped making shirts like that back in, what, 2002? I don't mean to make fun of this one kid. I'm only using him as an example here. I mean, if you go to the Trash Bag Wrestlers Facebook page, I mean, it's literally filled to the brim with just picture after picture and some videos of just these awful, awful wrestlers, these wannabes who are just, in some cases, even worse than the Hardy guy. You know, these people who are stuck in the Attitude Era and they think that all they gotta do to get wrestling gear is to go to Hot Topic. You know, it's freaking pathetic. I mean, it's a disgrace to the wrestling business. That's what gets me sick. That's what gets me ill. And literally every time one of these pictures is posted, without fail, if it's not the wrestler who's accused himself, standing up for himself, it's usually friends or relatives who are defending these troglodytes on the Facebook page. He's a veteran, he's wrestled for X number of years. No, he's not. You're being lied to. And if he is a veteran, then he is an awful veteran and he should know better. He's performed in front of hundreds of people, what do you know? Like at some free show where the ring was set up at a fairground where just hundreds of people are just passers-by looking on and just keeping going. Or maybe he wrestled in front of some large crowd made up of people who don't know the difference between good wrestling and bad, like, you know, their friends or family or, I don't know, babies. You know, performing in front of a large crowd doesn't mean anything. The New York Jets perform in front of large crowds all the time and they're shit. Don't you hate on him, he's just trying to accomplish his dream. That's awesome, it's great if you want to pursue your dream of being a wrestler. I respect that, but for God's sakes, if you're going to try and do that, don't go out in front of paying crowds until you're ready. And I don't mean if you think you're ready, I mean if your peers and especially your trainers think you're ready. If you have a bunch of crap matches in front of paying crowds, not only does it diminish your value over time really fast, but, you know, at best, it'll also hurt the value of the promoter who's using you, because a lot of this stuff also falls on the promoters and the bookers as well. Let's not forget that. But, you know, in worst case scenario, you might even kill a town. There's a mentality among some in the wrestling community where if you're not treating this business with the utmost seriousness, and if you're treating wrestling as a hobby, then you should just get out. I don't agree with that sentiment at all, but I am going to say that if you really want to dedicate yourself to wrestling as a hobby, then you should go into it with the same kind of gusto and investment as people who, hobby and cosplay, or, collecting model trains, Just, get invested in it, get your gear, get a gym membership, train properly. I mean, these things, it's not that hard to comprehend. But if you don't want to follow those guidelines, then yes, by all means, you should get out of the wrestling business. Not everyone can be a 1 in a million guy like Mick Foley or the Hardy Boys or CM Punk. You're not going to get signed wearing Hot Topic gear. If you want to take professional wrestling seriously, then by God, do it the right way. Do you want to stop the spread of trash bagger poisoning? It's simple. First and foremost, get trained by someone good. Second, don't wear regular clothes when you wrestle unless your gimmick is that you're a hillbilly or a homeless person, or if you're in a street fight. Third, don't blatantly rip off a widely known gimmick. And if you do decide to rip one off, make enough changes so that you make the gimmick your own. And finally, if somebody accuses you, whether it be in person or online, about your lack of gear, your lack of training, your lack of conditioning, or the fact you're stealing someone else's other popular, successful gimmick, don't be a tough guy, don't be a keyboard cowboy, don't try and defend yourself, don't try and dig yourself a bigger hole, just own up to it and improve yourself. What I'm saying is nothing new. I feel like I shouldn't have to be even saying this stuff. It's such common sense. But as we all know, it's common sense that gets lost in the internet. It's the stupidity that rises to the top and lasts forever. Well, that brought the fever up. Oh, God, I'm dizzy. Oh, I just gotta get some 7-Up and some buttered rice or something. I don't know. I just gotta get better. I'm Brian Zane. Oh God, here it comes again.